Yo, what's happening? What's up? What's good? First things first, a shout out to all the subscribers. I appreciate you guys so much. Thanks for rocking with the channel, liking the videos, subscribing. If you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button. Really appreciate it. Yo, it's the end of the month right now. Things are getting busy. The crew's out on the road. We got big jobs this week. We got small jobs this week. We are booking jobs this week, hoping to book a lot more jobs. Just brought 2 more guys onto the company. One of the guys who quit ended up deciding to come back, which is great. Super excited to have him back on the team. But yeah, it's just the end of the month. Everybody wants to move, but this is not what this video is about. This video is about standard operating procedures and why they are important for your company. If you do not have any SOPs in place, I highly recommend you start the process of creating plays for your company, procedures for your company. Here at Headband Movers, we call them plays. We don't call it standard operating procedures. We call it the playbook, and all my guys have a playbook. The playbook basically outlines how to operate in the field, how to conduct jobs, and just how to provide our customers with the best service possible. So yo, this video is about to be about SOPs and why they're important for your moving company. Let's go. First thing first, man, moving is a stressful and chaotic experience. It can be stressful for your team. It can be stressful for your company, but it doesn't have to be. If your goal is to scale your company to $1 million company, a $50,000 company, a $100,000 company, if your goal is growth, you need to have plays and procedures in place to make sure that everything goes efficient, that everything is smooth out in the field for your team. If you have these plays in place, ultimately your customers are just going to have a better experience. Your team is going to have a better experience. It's just important that everything is cohesive, especially when you're bringing on new hires, especially when you're bringing on guys from other moving companies who bring their bad habits with them or bring their own playbooks, which doesn't fly here at Headband Movers. So, yo, why are playbooks or SOPs? We call them playbooks, and I'm going to keep calling them playbooks, but why are playbooks so important for your moving company? Well, because they provide a clear and step-by-step guide for how your crew should handle different tasks in the company. This just ensures that everybody on the team knows exactly what is expected of them on the job. This just ensures that everybody is on the same page and doing what they're supposed to do on the job. You know, the goal is to make sure that the customer always has the best experience possible. And if your crew doesn't have a playbook, that's not going to happen. That might happen on this job, but it's not a guarantee that's going to happen on that job. So it's just important that you do have a playbook in place just to minimize confusions and mistakes out in the field. I developed my playbook shortly after starting our company. I just started to realize that guys were coming from other companies and they were just kind of doing their own thing. Look, I'm all for autonomy and, you know, guys bringing their skill sets to the company. And you know, I'm not out there micromanaging the team. How they move the furniture isn't a concern to me, but it's just important that there are plays in place just to make sure that everybody's on the same page and things are going smooth. Our goal is to make sure that every customer has a satisfying experience. So I developed my playbook early on, and as the company grows and we experience new problems, the playbook evolves, and I add to that playbook. And every time I do add to the playbook, I lay it out for my team so there's no confusion. But it's just really important that you do have a playbook in place. If you don't, open up the notes section on your phone and just lay out what the most important things are to you and how you want the jobs to go. And just develop that playbook as time goes on. Another important thing about having a playbook or an SOP, we call it the playbook, but another important thing about having an SOP in place is it just helps provide your customers with a consistent level of service. You want to be consistent out in the field doing jobs. You want to be consistent in your business. You just want to be consistent in your life. When you're consistent, you get consistent results. It's just important that your customers get guys that are consistent in following the playbook. Man, they're just going to have a better experience. They're going to be more confident in your company, and they're just going to feel like you care about their stuff. And that's really the most important thing. You want your customers to see the consistency. You want your customers to refer you to their friends. You want their friends to see the consistency. And when they come back to work with you, they want to see the consistency. So having these playbooks in place is just going to keep things consistent with your moving company, and it's going to keep your customers satisfied. So let's talk about some examples. I just opened up my playbook. I just had a new hire start today. I got another one starting on Friday. I'm also going to be sitting down with the entire team next week, and we're going to sit down and we're going to outline all the plays and the responsibilities of the crew out in the field. I talked a little bit about our policies with the new hire today, but I'm going to be sitting down with him and reading out the entire playbook just to make sure he understands exactly how I want him to conduct business on behalf of Headband Movers out in the field. If you do have a playbook, it's important that you guys understand it. So sit down with them, talk about the plays, and if they have any questions, they can address it. Maybe they have some ideas on how to make the playbook better. If my guys have ideas on how to be more efficient, I'm all about efficiency and making things easier for the crew out in the field. So if they have any ideas, I can go into the playbook, make some adjustments, send it out to the entire team. But it's just important that you're sitting down with your team and you're outlining all of the plays for them. You do that, you're gonna see more consistency in your crew, and you're gonna see more satisfaction out of your customers. So just some examples. We have a policy for time tracking and payroll. Every company has a different policy about how they track employee time. My crew uses Gusto. Gusto is our payroll processing company. They have a really dope software. They have an app for the team. Our policy just outlines when they're supposed to clock in, when they're supposed to clock out. It outlines the lunch policy. It outlines all of that. I'm just trying to be as communicative as possible. I don't know if that's a word, communicative, but my goal is to always communicate with my team and make sure that we're all on the same page. And anytime you hire somebody new, it's important that they're on the same page with the crew. So an example would be our clock in, clock out policy. I'll just run through a few of the plays. Movers are permitted to clock in when you arrive to the first job, and then they're allowed to clock back out when they arrive to the office. Drivers are allowed to clock in when they roll out. I pay them for that drive time, and then they're allowed to clock back in when they get back to the office. Also, guys are supposed to clock out for lunch. They clock out for lunch, they clock back in for lunch. I keep track of all of those hours. It's just important that we're all following that policy. It's just going to help you be more profitable when you're doing that, keeping track of everybody's hours. I've hired people in the past that are a little bit shady about their hours, but I got a lot of processes in place to make sure that no new hires are taking advantage of the company. You're going to see that in the moving industry. Anytime, like, for example, you do paper contracts, they're really easy for somebody to come in and just like fudge the contract, fuck up the contracts, make them look however they want to look. Especially if you're doing a lot of cash jobs. I've seen guys in the past, they'll come on, say the job took 4 hours, they get paid for 4 hours, and then on the contract they write 3 hours, and then they pocket that extra hour. It's just important that you have these plays in place to make sure that you're not getting taken advantage of. It's the moving industry. It's one of the shadiest industries out there, and there's a lot of shady characters that just bounce around from moving company to moving company. So you got to have your plays and your procedures in place to make sure that you're not getting taken advantage out in the field. For example, of one of our plays in our policies is the time off policy. We have a time off policy because we book jobs based on the availability of the guys in the company. I used to just book jobs as they came in. I'd just book a job whenever, and then I'd scramble to find guys to work, and it was just a total headache. So now my guys request time off. We have a play for that. They request time off. They usually always get their time off requests, but I need a heads up so I don't book a job that day and then have no guys to be able to service that job. So we have a time off policy in place. Everybody on the crew is aware of that policy. Guys don't always follow that policy. Usually let them slide a couple of times, but if they don't follow the plays and the procedures, man, they're just not going to work for my company. That's how it goes, man. I got everything in place to make sure that we're profitable, because it is difficult at this level running a profitable moving company. So everybody's got to be on point and following the plays and procedures. Another important play that we have is moving standards. I have standards for my crew. like I said before, autonomy is important. I want them to be themselves. I want them to bring their skill set to the company. I'm not going to micromanage them on the job, but we do have moving standards. These standards just help make sure that everything is going efficiently on the job, whether that is just laying out a floor runner when you arrive, or how you greet the customer, or how you pack the truck. I don't really micromanage about how you pack the truck, but one of the examples would be we always push boxes to the truck first. We always stack things high and tight. We always use pads on the furniture to minimize damages. Just little stuff like that. It's important that everybody on the team is playing by those standards. So I lay out all those standards for the guys. We adjust those standards as we need to, but it's just important that everybody's operating on the same page so there's no confusion in the field. Like, if you're just hiring a bunch of contractors off of Craigslist to come work for your company, eventually that's going to backfire. Eventually you're going to have some major problems. Eventually you're going to deal with unhappy, unsatisfied customers, and you're going to deal with damages, and you're going to have to pay these customers. You're going to have to write time off the bill. You're going to have to get creative with just how you're going to satisfy these unsatisfied customers. So when you're hiring people, man, it's just really important that you do have a playbook in place. I just can't stress it enough. If your goal is to grow your company into $1 million operation, you're going to need a playbook for every part of your company. I have one for my social media. I have one for marketing. I'm working on one for sales. I'm the only sales guy right now, but I'm going to be bringing on a salesman this year. So it's important that when I bring people on, everybody has a playbook and they stick to the playbook. That's the only way that you're going to be profitable and grow like a multi-million-dollar company. You can't wing it. You can't always wing it. You can do that in the beginning, but eventually you're going to need plays in place if you want to be profitable as a moving company. That's my video on standard operating procedures or playbooks. Overall, just having a standard operating procedure in place is essential for any moving company that wants to provide a high level of service and minimize risks and mistakes. If you want to be profitable, you need to have a standard operating procedure in place. You need to provide your crew with playbooks. If you need any advice on writing out your playbook, let me know. I can shoot you some examples. I can push you in the right direction, but you should start taking notes now. How do you want your company to operate? What's going to be the most efficient process? If you're a really, really solid mover and you're working for a company right now, bite some of their plays, bite some of their processes, and just integrate it into your own playbook. If you're a really solid mover for another moving company right now and you're getting 5-star reviews, you already have an idea of how to operate a team in the field and how jobs should go and how they should be most efficient. So start getting that down on paper, start putting it in your notes right now, start developing your playbook. It's only going to be beneficial for you, especially if you're growth minded and you want to make more money and you want to be more profitable. So that's my SOP playbook video. I hope it was helpful for you guys. I hope everybody's out there working hard, working smart, grinding, and not sweating the small stuff. Really appreciate everybody that's tapped into the channel. I'm going to try to start shooting videos out every other day. No guarantees, but I'm going to try, man. I really just want to provide you guys with as much knowledge and game as possible. The moving season is coming. Things are going to be busy, and you should start getting prepared right now. Appreciate all the subscribers. I think we're almost at 250. If you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate it. But I gotta go. I got things to do. I got customers to call. Peace out. See you later. Gotta go. Bye.